Wake up. It's the first of the month. Yeah, today is June 1st, man. June 1st. And it's only right that we revisit our research report by our model, which gave us an analysis here in May 1st. So today is June 1st. We'll go over this. Make sure that you like and subscribe. It's your boy Crypto Millie, and I'm back with another altcoin update. White has been exploding in the last couple of days, man, on that off that oil news. If you've been following my channel, you know what news that I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get into the market because I know a lot of people are getting extremely frustrated, right? They're kind of like losing their resolve and their patience. And I'm here to be that beacon light of hope. Just call me the beacon light of hope. All right. And we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it real on what I see going on. We're also going to give you a June 1st detailed report. So let me know your current sentiment on the crypto market and specifically the altcoin market. Be sure to share some of your favorite altcoins. And if you're interested in some of these on the list, check out my crypto.com referral code where you can earn 25 to 50 bucks. All right. So everybody's been wondering, is the Bitcoin move over? I don't see it personally on the daily chart here. You can kind of see that we're getting that stock RSI cross on the daily, but it's important to note that we can hang out here for a while. We are oversold. Bitcoin is oversold again on the daily, but we can hang out here for a while. And on the weekly, it's looking kind of ugly, right? You can kind of see that huge red candle coming in, right? We wanted to close above in price discovery. We just didn't get that close, and we really needed to get that close. On top of that, this is an engulfing candle, right? Compared to the candle last week, we're also walking into a stock RSI cross. So can't ignore the bearish signs, right? And the bearish signals. And what's important about this is that this was my analysis here on May 1st, right? And what did they tell us? They gave us a timeline, right? And I want to make sure I pull this up for you guys. They gave us a timeline, but they said early June. I've been saying early June correction phase begins, right? The only outlier here is that anything can happen. I mean, right now we're getting news that Jay Powell could possibly resign. If that happens on Monday, you already know the market is going to explode. Let me know in the comments what's the chances of Jay Powell resigning. On top of that, Trump can come out and give us some de-escalation news when it comes to the tariffs, or he can double down on the tariffs, and it seems that's what they want to do, right? So our model had already told us early June correction just based on the volume and some of the indicators. The macro, right? Markets began significant correction as macro reality overwhelms Fed optimism. And that's really what happened. And people are starting to lose resolve and believe that there will not be an altcoin season. And I'm going to get into how much time this 4-year cycle actually has, right? The reality check comes as the economic contraction can no longer be ignored as multiple indicators confirm recession risk. We'll get more information on the data this week, right? But it's Sunday, so I want to make that clear. The last time this report came out, it was a weekday, so we was able to give you like PMIs and things like that. This is a Sunday, right? So we'll get all of this week, all of this information in the coming weeks, in the coming days, some of it in the coming days. So just make sure you kind of understand this is what our model was telling us on May 1st. And I made this here on May 1st. So I want to make that clear. All right. So what are we looking forward to, right? It's important to note here with the altcoins that, again, on the daily oversold, but on the weekly, we're getting that stock RSI cross. We haven't confirmed yet bearish momentum until we cross 80. That's on the Bitcoin chart and also the total 3, but we're staring at it. So we really need to put in a higher low on both of these charts. Both of these charts need to at least bounce here at 80 on the stock RSI. Needs to hang out here for this last leg up. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying the last leg up. I'm not confident that we can just be bullish into this super cycle based off the history of Bitcoin, right? And this last leg up, if we do get it from Bitcoin, you can expect a very volatile rotation into altcoins as everybody tries to make their last chance at making money, guys. I mean, there's, the writing's on the wall at this point. If we just go to the history of the halving cycles, you can see here 518 days from the halving to the top, 546 days from the halving to the top. Right now we are sitting at about 400 days, about 400 days, right? So just based off history, we got about 141 days, like 140 something days left, right? If we are expecting, you know, us to put in that top somewhere around 532 to 550 days, right? 76 bars and higher, right? Now, something would have to be drastically different because each cycle, that was the top 500 days in. So for the people that's really, really bullish on this just raging altcoin season in 2026, that would be totally different than anything we've ever seen, because we know in Bitcoin tops out literally 500 days after the halving. So if that doesn't happen, then this time is different and we're in a super cycle or whatever you want to call it, and we're just doing something that we've never done before. We're just doing something that we've never done before. But I'm giving you the history based up, you know, I'm giving you a visual outlook of the history based off what we have here and the information that's given. Now, I have my model. I actually give you guys a probability here that we either get a top or the next leg up, which I call a blow off top, right? It's going to lead us somewhere between 120,000 and 130,000 Bitcoin. And then would eventually lead us into the altcoin season as we get that Ethereum liquidity rotation. Now, we haven't broken the Pi cycle top indicator either. All right, so we have some things in our favor that tell us that the next leg is coming, right? Historically, Bitcoin has topped out somewhere between 550 days after each halving cycle. 518 days. The second halving, 544 days. The third halving, and then the fourth halving, we're kind of like, the model says we should top out somewhere between 534 days, right? We're currently only about 400 days in, right? As of June 1st, Bitcoin's price is currently 105, right? Isn't it like 105 or something like that? Yeah, it's like 105, right? So, we're up 11% since May 1st. So Bitcoin went from 94,000 to 105 in the last month, right? Top probability, 4 out of 10, right? The top is unlikely yet, as we're 140 days shy of the historical average. However, speculative momentum and macroeconomic headwinds raise the risk of an early peak. So our model said it's a 4 out of 10 chance that this is the top, right? This could be that double top that people are fearing. But the model also said it's a 7 out of 10 that we get the next leg up, right? A final leg up to 115 to 126,000 by early October is likely if the cycle holds, though low volumes and economic pressures reduce certainty, right? So we won't know any of this, information until this week and this, later on this week and later on this month. Congrats to everybody that made it to June. But our model is telling us an early June correction could be in, and a mid-June rally, right? A 5 to 10% rebound in equities and Bitcoin may occur if the Fed commentary becomes more dovish or economic data shows improvement, right? And then it's also saying that we could go into a deeper correction late June 2025. Bearish trend resumes with renewed vigorous equities declining another 5 to 10% and Bitcoin dropping 20-30% for levels. So I don't know. I don't know if we see a 20 to 30% drop, but if we do, we got October, September, and we could top out in October, right? So that actually falls into that timeline as we get a correction in June, late June, and then July, August, September, we just get this massive leg up. If that doesn't happen, I don't know. I'm confident in crypto long term, right? Into the next cycle. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to get anybody discouraged, but I'm saying this cycle, I'm going off history, right? Of this cycle. History, 500 and something days in, we usually top out, right? So if we get up here to 500 days and we ain't have no altcoin season, at some point you gotta wake up and smell the coffee, right? It just is what it is, right? It is what it is. Hey, we brush ourselves off and we get prepared for the next cycle, right? the fear ingredient index is neutral right now, so no one knows what's going to happen. Everybody is kind of like in the waiting room, like, okay, is this the double top, or are we going to get the next leg up? Let me know. Let me know, chat, how you feel about that. Let me know how you feel about that. We'll continue to monitor it, but I wanted to make sure I, kind of showed you guys what we talked about May 1st. Go watch the video, May 1st, right? And I also put this in the Patreon, right? So, you know what I mean? It said we could get there early June correction. Now, the market outlook for June 1st, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about the bullish thesis. A short-term rebound is possible in June, driven by easing inflation and potential Fed pivot. Bitcoin's rally to 105,000 reflects strong investor confidence, which could lift altcoins and equities. Manufacturing PMI might stabilize near 48, 49, and initial claims could dip below 240K. Bearish thesis. The correction phase is active with the economic contraction deepening. Q2 GDP likely to be 0.5 or worser. Bitcoin surge is a speculative bubble with a 40 to 60% correction imminent. PMI likely drop below 48. Initial claims may exceed 250, and tariff-driven inflation will pressure the Fed to hike rates. Most likely scenario is the bearish thesis dominates with a 10 to 15 equity decline and a 20% pullback by late June. A brief mid-month rally may occur if Fed commentary softens. This is what our model is telling us as far as June 1st. And you can see the market timeline: correction early June, correction phase mid-June, potential relief rally late June, deepening correction, right? The question is, in July, September, October, right? Will we get that last leg up and that potential altcoin season, right? I mean, July, we're looking at a 26% chances of ease. September, we're looking at a 75% chance. October, we're looking at 87%, and then 96% on December. So you're looking at September, October, December. We gotta get the cuts those months. So, y'all let me know, man, because again, when I look at this, the history, right? The history. And you can use the total 3 if you want to, but you look at the history. I mean, it's looking at us clear as day. 74 bars into that first that we actually have trading chart, right? Of course, there was a halving before this, but it wasn't recorded on TradingView. All right, so this is the second one. You see it, bam. Third, bam. 546 days in, topped. All right, and then we look right here. You do the math. You add those up and subtract it. You get somewhere between 76 and 77 bars, man. That's around 532 to 550 days. And historically, it's supposed to be over right here, sometime in the first week of October. Guys, let me know what you think. Don't want to, make this video too long. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll be back with another update.